Welcome, Sarah. Thanks for joining us from the Champ de Mars. And now here we are in the beautiful heart of Paris, Place de la Madeleine.
Yes.
And we also have Judy Davis, who has been living in Paris for over 20 years. And they are here to share their experiences. And especially, Sarah, you mentioned something in the park, managing Pierre's moods. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, well, it's funny that you would mention it because I think mood management is a very interesting thing. And I have found, especially with Frenchmen, that the old saying of the way to a man's heart is through his stomach is actually quite appropriate for Frenchmen. And if you think about it, when you speak English with a French accent, and if you say, I'm hungry, they say, I'm angry. And it comes out that they sound like they're saying they're angry, and the fact of the matter is, they are angry. So when Pierre is angry, he turns into the bear. And when he's got a nice meal, or even more importantly, the anticipation of a nice meal and a nice glass of wine, he's a teddy bear. So found out this very simple mode d'emploi for my husband. It is this, and I found it out a long time ago when my children were little. My husband was working away from the house during the day, and I'm a writer and I was working at home. The children would be there, and if I didn't pay attention, I could be lost in my work and suddenly be 8 o'clock, I'd be there, the house would be a wreck, there wouldn't be anything in for the meal or anything, and it would not be a happy picture because this teddy bear would be a grizzly bear and he would be angry. So we figured out this little thing. I would set the alarm for 7:30, and at 7:30 I would rouse the girls. We'd race around the house. Somebody would sit down in his chair where he would love to come and sit in his armchair, and he'd be smoking a cigarette and looking all around and with this good gallic glare of what was going on. Then we just clean up everywhere he could possibly see. 2 glasses of wine, a bottle of Burgundy on the coffee table, and then I would whip out to the kitchen, put some frozen picarb onions on to saute. So by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, the house is smelling like there's this wonderful meal prepared. Maybe I don't have anything planned, but it smells wonderful. My husband comes in and says, smells wonderful in here. And I say, mais oui, chérie. And and then everything just is smooth as butter during the meal. And I do have a friend who I promised I would not reveal her name, but she told me that this was an excellent mode d'emploi. But she added a geisha French twist to this story, because she said, if when you're sauteing those onions in the kitchen, if you happen to be wearing black lace underwear, you could be talking about some pretty thorny subjects at dinner. Money, the children's report cards, whatever, no problem.
Very nice.
Yes, so this is mood management.
And is that similar for you, Judith, or?
Well, not exactly. I mean, if Alan came home and found me in lace underwear cooking, he would run out of the house screaming. I mean, he would never in a million years think he was in his own home. Yes, I don't could. Second, I don't wear lace underwear, so he's at a total loss. No, really, for Alan, it's all about his clothes. It's all about the organization of his clothes. And they must be in perfect order from the time he gets up in the morning to the time he goes to bed and takes off his business clothes.
Yeah.
Everything has to have its place. And makes it a little bit difficult for me because I tend to be a little bit bordelic. But anyway, it's very important. You can ruin this man's day if the right thing isn't in place. It's quite impressive to watch. I mean, once he went to get some of his underwear, or his caleçons as he calls them, out of his drawer.
Yeah.
And there weren't any. I had failed to do the laundry. You get the laundry organized, and boy, was that a scene I had witnessed for the very first time. A man jumping up and down
without
sweating because he had no underwear to wear. We're like, okay, if it was me, I would just put a bathing suit on her. Find a solution.
Be in the bath.
Yeah, be in the bath. Man up, go out.
Yeah.
But boy, it really unnerved him. So no, for him, it's strictly all about the clothes being together.
But what is interesting, because I'm thinking, what I've realized with my husband and what you're telling me, the mode d'emploi, the instructions that come with these fellas is actually pretty simple. It's not that complicated. You just have to know 1 or 2 little things.
Yeah.
And if you get them wrong, well, the grenades fly. But if you get them right, it can be so smooth.
Yeah, but if you miss, and you
and
know,
it's like walking onto a minefield, or
Yeah.
a manfield, a minefield.
Well, how you know you're half French. I mean, you grew up in French households. Are the Frenchmen like that?
Well, I wouldn't really know because I was raised by a French mother, so it's a little bit different.
And your father's
but
American.
My father's American.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
so things are a little different, but yeah, I certainly had the upbringing of the stormy French woman, so you know, it can be quite that way too. So
Yeah.
no, it's a matter of mood management many ways around.
Well, things do have to be neat in my house too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes beyond the
Yeah.
clothes, but that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
first.
yeah.
That's the,
yeah.
you know, the
The
biggest issue.
The
you know.
center of the
That has to
cyclone is
work,
clothes.
otherwise nothing else
Yeah.
does, right?
The
So,
eye of the storm is about the clothes.
He just announced to me the other day that I'm no longer allowed to go to the dry cleaner that he's been going to for 10 years. They're dead, as he said.
They are dead to him.
They are dead to me. They are dead to me. So I'm like, okay, all right. And why is that after, 10 years of the same? Because they don't press the lapel right. Good God.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like, okay,
okay.
that's important to you. That's
Yeah.
important to you. But no, I mean, he'll come home and he'll inspect. I mean,
If it floats your boat.
yeah, he'll go around and see that things
Yeah.
are together, and But I'm with you. I mean, whatever it takes, just to have peace
Oh,
and
yeah,
harmony
yeah,
in my life.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Well, it's something that's very funny. Just today, I was leaving the house and I realized that, for instance, things can go wrong in our kitchen. I mean, our kitchen has needed to be done over for years, and it doesn't bother my husband at all. And but his car, he came home 2 days ago and said, "Oh, I parked my car when I went to a meeting. When I came out, there was a bus. There was a whatever you call it in French, a caboose or something. Anyway, somebody banged into a dent a dent in the fender, and he had it fixed today. That
my.
car is at the repair shop today. That man cannot have his car not looking perfect.
okay. So the kitchen may take another
The kitchen will be
decade.
years and decades.
Well, that's
Oh, no.
surprising because I know Pierre, and he's like the last one. How long did it take you to get curtains in your house? I remember he was not a,
yeah,
it was a
that
big
was another
issue
whole
for-
story.
for
Yeah,
him.
the curtains. Yeah. So it just, different people have their different things.
Yeah.
But the car,
What was it your uncle used to do? He'd come home first.
Well, that's why I can relate to both of your stories in
Oh,
the
yeah.
sense of, family, if anything. I had an uncle when my cousins lived on Place des Vosges. He would come home every evening, and his wife and children were sitting around, and we were there for cocktails. We were visiting from the States, and he would literally come in and clean. He would spot clean. He would never sit down. He would never have his cocktail, and my cousin just kept sitting there very blasé and say, "Chérie, come sit down," And no, he had to spot clean everything. He would literally walk around the room as he was talking.
Oh,
he would
yeah.
engage in the conversation,
Uh-huh.
but constantly, taking something and dusting it, and putting it back and moving this, and
oh my goodness.
yeah,
yeah, a little bit neurotic.
just a little.
Just a little bit neurotic. Shall we say?
Just a little. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us, Judy and Sarah, and thank you all for watching. And I hope you stay tuned for our next episode, The French Mother-in-Law, a True Urban Legend. Sure to be insightful for many, many viewers. Well, bye for now. Au revoir.